On this episode, we are floating down the river for Steelhead, hot tent camping, and enjoying Michigan's great outdoors during the wintertime. Guys, Zach with South Branch Media here. Today we are doing something a little out of my comfort zone. It's currently 19 degrees. Got a little bit of a snowstorm for this morning, and planning on doing a overnight float for Steelhead. And I think the high temperature is going to be around like 20, 22. So I got a hot temp that I added to the lineup, and we're gonna try that out and see what goes on. But I'm flying solo today. Nobody else, it's just me. And to be fair, you kind of got to be a little crazy to go and do what I'm doing today anyway. So hopefully I can stay warm and enjoy it, because honestly I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be a good time. Checking out a little bit of a slower part of the river to make sure it's not frozen up. Well, we're looking okay. All right, here we are. Need to get the boat loaded, packed up, which is going to be a chore, and we're on our way. Game time. Here we go. This stuff floating down the river, all this slush and breakaway ice is a problem. Big problem. The other problem is that my anchor rope keeps on freezing up. So some of these places that I've tried to stop at, I just don't have an anchor to stop at. So pretty. Oh my goodness. Well, this is the system for your anchor going out. Just tied off and looped around my my oar holder there. So not really ideal, but at least we can stop, turn around, and fish this. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I think at this point it's kind of turned into more of a float camp trip. Just at this point, I'm tired of dealing with all the ice on my guides, all the ice on my line, and then really the stuff that's floating down the river is making it, I don't want to say impossible to fish, but really, really hard, because it just kind of pulls your bait and your presentation right up and out of the water. So I'm definitely enjoying myself. Like, this is really cool to be out here, but I think I had in mind more of a fishing trip than this really has turned out to be. So I think from here on out, I'm just going to enjoy the float and enjoy the beautiful scenery, and I'd still rather be doing this than, you know, sitting inside and doing a whole lot of nothing. See here, this my bobber has just this absolute coating of ice on it. I'm almost kind of wondering, like I've had some, you know, fishy bobber downs that I come up empty on, but I'm looking at my hooks here, and they had like a nice solid thick layer of ice on them, and I'm wondering if I wasn't hooking fish because of that. It's just not getting the point in them and just sliding right out. I mean, it is what it is, but man, if that's it, that's unfortunate. It's not even, you know, 5 minutes of fishing, and you've got all of that on your line and on that. Look at this. It's just built up ice. We're camping. We're not fishing, we're camping. We're floating and we're camping. Home sweet home. Just don't know if it's gonna fit here or not. Well, we got the tent set up. Looking pretty good over there. Next thing for me is probably going to be to put the floor down and get the stove assembled. Go out, find some kindling material and get that rolling. I want to warm this thing up as soon as possible, but all this, you know, finally getting out of the boat and moving around has finally got me nice and warm. So, but I know it's going to be a big payoff once I get that stove rolling, some hot coals flowing in there. So let's get started on that. Oh, boat floated away from me. Took that cooler off and that would have not been good. Kind of had it set up backward, so this will be fully, you know, your entrance where it's all has the ground tarp, and then on that side, that's where I'll put the wood and stuff, because right there is the stove jack. So stove needs to be on that side and uncovered, and that way I won't, you know, accidentally burn a hole in my ground tarp here. It should be enough wood to stack the fire and keep it warm all night. We'll see, but I gotta go out now and scavenge a bunch of smaller stuff. Okay, I think that ought to be a pretty good start. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the stove and the chimney all set up. got everything set up and I will show you around. So got my table over here, hot stove, and it's doing a really good job of warming this place up. Actually, we're about to go check the thermometer outside and see what that has to say. Once we read that, we'll bring it in here and see what it's reading for in here. But the only thing really different that I did, you know, other than set up my bed here, is move the wood from over there to over here, because that's where I'll be sleeping. My head will be right there, and I can just, you know, grab a piece of wood, throw it in the fire as I lay down, or maybe I'll have to get up a little bit, but that'll make things way easier. I don't know what I was thinking putting it over there. It is feeling really, really good in here. All right. Put the thermometer here. Let's see what it says. 14 degrees. Holy cow. It's a little colder than I expected even. I'm getting hungry now. I'm warm, I'm comfortable, and ready to make some food. Potatoes that I'm planning on making into some fries, and I have some venison steak from one of my deer from this year. Grill that up, and then I have some peas. So venison, fries, and peas. Sounds pretty good to me. Well, I think this is where I'm going to say goodnight to you. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening here, listen to some music, and keep stoking the fire, keeping it warm in here, and we'll see you in the morning. Holy cow, is it beautiful outside. It's so cool. All the ice crystals everywhere from last night's freeze. I think it got down to like 8 degrees is the last that I had my thermometer out there. So it was a cold one for sure. I stayed nice and warm. This tent is seriously awesome. This has been a really fun experience. All right, all suited up. Got the tent pretty much packed up. All it's left to do is disconnect the chimney here and dump the stove out. So that's what I'm going to tackle next. All right, all packed up. No traces left except for that. Oh, that's just so cool. Boat's all packed up. Just got to throw that anchor in and push it on in, and we are heading down the river. All right, we are off. Got about 7 miles to go. Maybe not that many. I don't know how many miles. Don't listen to me. 5? I don't know. Water's looking pretty clear. Well, we're getting to the end of the trip here. My takeout's probably less than a half a mile ahead here, so I think I'm gonna call it on steelhead fishing. It's been really tough, and I mean, it is half the reason why I came, but I thoroughly enjoyed the other half. Okay, now I just need to go right there. This here is why I love having a raft. You can't do this with the drift boat. So awesome. You really can make a lot of unique trips happen just because you're only drafting, you know, inch and a half into the water, and the thing's, you know, portable, movable. You can drag it across the stuff. So cool. Hey, my camera batteries died while wrapping up the video here, so if you made it to this point, thanks for watching. This is a little something different than I've typically done on the channel, so if you liked it, let me know in the comments, and again, thanks for watching.